Hey, who feels like setting a record today? I believe we can do it, Laker Nation. And the last time we did this, not to call anybody out, but we failed miserably. We got to get to 500 comments. That's right, 500 comments on today's episode. And the person that spams LAL the most, you're getting a shout out on the next show. So type those LALs. And oh, by the way, that's right, the trade deadline is a mere couple of days away. So everybody get ready for it. Type LAL in the comments and let's get it going on the Lakers Report. And welcome into today's episode. If you can't already tell, I'm fired up. And if you didn't type LAL into the comments yet, here's another reminder. We're not going any further till you do. No, in all seriousness, dial it in, buckle up, because the trade deadline is a mere couple of days away. So make sure you subscribe to the channel, have your notifications set, your alerts turned on, because if any type of breaking news happens, and anywhere across the National Basketball Association, we've got you covered. We're going to have a live show on Thursday leading up to the trade deadline. So, again, set those notifications up and tell your boss you've got permission to miss work because it's the NBA trade deadline. I don't always give people permission to miss work, but it's the NBA trade deadline, so you have our full permission here at the Lakers Report by Chat Sports. So subscribe to the channel. And what are we talking about today? Let's look internally to the Los Angeles Lakers, because as the trade rumors start to ramping it on up, we got to take the pulse of our own team, and that starts with DAngelo Russell, who obviously is at the top of the list of potential internal trade assets for the Los Angeles Lakers. And I give DAngelo Russell a lot of credit with this quote because he came right out and addressed the trade rumors. And he said, I can't control that. My contract makes sense to be traded. I just play. You can't control that. Once again, I don't care at all. And when you look at the production from DAngelo Russell in the month of January, I think his level of play would certainly back up the fact that he doesn't care that he is rumored to be on the move and that he's rumored to be traded by the Los Angeles Lakers. Arguably one of his best months of his entire career, certainly the best month of the season, 23.8 points per game, and look at the efficiency as well, 50% from the floor. And I know it's only been a couple of games in the month of February, but he hasn't really fallen off drastically. And again, it's a smaller sample size, but you look at the February stats, and he's continued a very high level of play, 20 points per game, better than 40% from the long line, and the 8 assists a game as well. So he's distributing the ball equally as well. And again, this is all surrounding a guy who has a lot of rumors about whether or not he'll be on the move. So it'd be very easy for him to check out mentally and just go through the motions, but he absolutely hasn't done that. And again, I give him a lot of credit. Here's a little bit more from DAngelo Russell, who said, obviously, I've been here before. I've played for the Lakers before, so I know what the requirements are to be successful here. So if you're part of the future here, you'll be successful. If you're not, you'll get traded. And I've been traded before here. So my approach is just a little different. And I do think you got to give DAngelo Russell just a lot of credit for the maturity he's been able to handle this situation from. And if I'm one of the other 31 GMs across the National Basketball Association, I'm taking note to this because here's a guy that obviously has a wealth of experience in the NBA and has handled what many would see as a difficult situation. He's handled it and really passed any test with flying colors. So a credit to DAngelo Russell. But as we get closer and closer to the NBA trade deadline, I got to hear from you. What percent chance do you give D'Lo to get traded? Do you think it's a done deal, 100% of a chance he's going to get traded, or are you closer to more of the 0% chance he gets traded, or maybe you're right in the middle? Either way, you got to let me know down in the comments, because I look at these quotes and I think it suggests that he knows something we might not know, in that maybe there's been some conversations that have been had behind closed doors where maybe Rob Pelinka or anyone from the front office, for that matter, has informed him, hey, there's a really good chance you're going to be traded here. And the Lakers have kept a really solid poker face throughout the whole process because there hasn't been any major breaking news, rumor, or anything of that sort that would suggest there's a specific deal that's been done, other than the fact that the Lakers have certainly been active shoppers at the trade deadline. And again, as DAngelo Russell said himself, his contract makes him arguably the easiest trade candidate on the Lakers roster. So, all that considered, there's a lot to discuss this time of year with the trade deadline just a few days away. And we're going to continue to break down those trade rumors. But first, how about a huge shout out to today's presenting sponsor, Prize Picks, the most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. I play Prize Picks for just about every single Lakers game. And as always, you got to go to prizepicks.com/CLNS because that's where we have up to a $100 deposit match waiting for you at prizepicks.com/CLNS. And look, I don't always give you the perfect picks, but I give it my all every single time. Here's what I was working with last night. And Austin Reeves, you let me down, man. He had, unfortunately, less than 16.5 points. But you know how you bounce back from a poor Prize Pick? You pick and pick and pick again. And if you go to prizepicks.com/CLNS, that's where we have up to a $100 deposit match waiting for you. And don't you worry, we'll put that link right in the comments and description of today's video. So it's just one click and you're there. We couldn't make it any easier. PrizePicks has far and away the most expansive library, the best platform to use for daily fantasy sports. And oh, by the way, they've introduced Demons and Goblins. Demons a little bit more difficult to win, but you win more money. Goblins, yeah, that's right, easier, but they're not going to pay out as much as well. Find out for yourself, prizepicks.com/CLNS for up to a $100 deposit match for all of our friends at the Lakers Report. Now, let's examine the Lakers trade deadline with a very, very close magnifying glass and really break it all down on how this Lakers team might move forward when you think about what is exactly they're working with moving forward to the NBA trade deadline. Because again, you read one article and all of a sudden you think maybe the Lakers are making a move. You read another article and you think, they're standing pat. Either way, there are some trade targets out there that are appealing for the Los Angeles Lakers, and I've put together my top trade targets for the Lakers to pursue. Now, actually working out a deal makes it a little bit more difficult. Dejounte Murray, obviously at the top of the list for what he can provide at the point guard position. Bruce Brown, Malcolm Brogdon, maybe not necessarily guys that would move the needle as much, but you probably wouldn't have to give up as much as well. And then if you want to go with a different approach as far as how the Lakers might want to build this roster for a postseason run, obviously some help up front in what Andre Drummond could provide. And Mark Stein recently said that if the Bulls do make a move at the deadline, Andre Drummond, the most likely player to be traded. And last but certainly not least, Tyus Jones out of Washington as well. So there's my top 5. And again, we kind of wait and see leading up to the trade deadline of where this might be going. And I want to know from you who your top trade target is for the Los Angeles Lakers to pursue. Let me know down in the comments because, again, as we get closer and closer to that trade deadline, it'll be very, very interesting to see what direction this Lakers front office decides to go. Now, if you read The Athletic like I do, Jovan Buha for the Los Angeles Lakers saying they are remaining active on the trade market less than 48 hours before the trade deadline. So remaining active to me says, yeah, we're still shopping, trying to find that perfect fit and trying to find a deal that would work. And maybe you need a third team in there. Maybe you need some buyout candidates. Lots to consider. Now, LeBron James, obviously the heart and soul of the Los Angeles Lakers, has made it clear he wants the Lakers to treat the deadline with an all-in approach. And if there's a deal to be made, to go for it full steam ahead. Because remember this Lakers team last year, right? Ultimately, some of the moves made resulted in a conference final run. And depending on what portion of the season you look at, you would certainly think this Lakers roster could use a boost. Now, they've played a lot better as of late. You could even make the case that they're playing some of their best basketball here in the early part of February. So, in summary, maybe the summer is a better time for the Lakers to make a deal. Maybe you think this is a team that's gelling right now. They're playing some of their best basketball. Darvin Ham seems to have them competing at the highest level. The cohesiveness seems to be there. So maybe you wait and see, because in the summer, the Lakers' trade capital looks a whole lot different. They'll have a lot more draft picks to work with starting the day of the NBA draft. They'll be able to trade multiple first-round picks, including that 2031, 2029, and either the 2024 or 2025 picks. So when you consider that, maybe it's a holding pattern at this deadline, and in the summer, you make a deal to go all in for next year. Lots to consider, lots to discuss. So I ask you, if you want the Lakers to make a deal at the deadline, type Y for yes or N for no. Maybe it's Dejounte Murray. Maybe it's Tyus Jones. Maybe Andre Drummond. We've listed some of those top trade targets, but you got to let us know if you want the Lakers to even make a deal. Type them down in the comments and let me know Y for yes or N for no. Now, as we move forward, as always, set up your notifications and alerts, because we've got a live show coming to you on Thursday, the day of the trade deadline. We'll be breaking down not just the Lakers' moves, but every single move that's made, talking all things NBA, all things Lakers, so make sure you join us for that. As always, subscribe to the channel. We appreciate all of your support, and shout out to the real ones that have been with us every step of the way as we bring you each and every angle around the Los Angeles Lakers. Hey, shout out to my producer today, Jeffrey Cooperstein, helping us bring you all the latest from the purple and gold. And until next time, have a wonderful afternoon on the Lakers Report.